me decide. Do I get the Model Y? Driving the Y is a little bumpier, and not everybody knows how to get into the car because the door handles are so different. And when my daughter went to go and put down the window, she was worried she was going to open the door. So those are a couple things that, but part of that's just not being used to the car. A little too fast for you? So according to my backseat passenger, the Y is actually pretty similar to the X sitting in the back seat. The leg room, tons of leg room actually in the Y, and also plenty of room width-wise, and so it really doesn't feel that different, even though it's obviously a smaller car. So coming up here, we have a pretty smooth strip of road that we take on a regular basis, and this will be a good test to compare the smoothness and how the car drives between the X and the Y. A feature that I noticed with the Y that's really cool is that I don't think the X does this. When the light turns green, it dings. It's like, hey, wake up, it's time to go. And every car really should have that. So the verdict is that it's actually bumpier. So we feel a lot more on the road. Maybe that has to do with the tires and the size of the wheels, I'm not sure. But it's overall a lot sportier of a feel, which I like. Obviously, they call the X the Fabergé of SUVs, but that means it'll probably need to be a smoother drive. So here we feel a little bit more, but it's still pretty fun and sporty. But ironically, my daughter says she kind of likes to get bounced around in the car, so maybe that's okay with the Y. So what do you think, passenger? X or Y? What do you think? She doesn't know. That's not helping me make my decision. The reason you couldn't decide which you like better, the X or the Y, is because you couldn't remember which model is which. So the X is the one I have, the Y is the one we're in, and the verdict is we would probably use the Y more because it's not so fancy, which I think she has a good point. Another interesting point to consider is getting in and out of the car. We already talked about the handle and getting in, how it's a lot different than the X, but also getting out. I couldn't be at my passenger's service and open the door for them like I can for them in the X. And also the height of the headliner, I think, and of the top is shorter. So the passenger I had felt like she had to duck to get out of the car, which was kind of strange. So. Two things that I really do like about the Y that I wish were true in the X. One is because the windshield in the X goes so far up, it's really hard to block the sun. And on those really sunny days, you really do need a pair of sunglasses because the ones that they have are just not that big. And the other thing that I really like, I really love the continuous sunroof, even though I have this headliner here, right? So I have this headliner and I have the sun visors that go down. So that is definitely easier for driving. I also think that the backup camera, that is, I guess, with the newer models, the newer version, there's the main camera and then there are two kind of side cameras, which I really like in the Y. However, I will say, I know the X has like 16 cameras or something, and so I think that either car is really well equipped with cameras and feedback. So not sure I'm decided on which one's better for that reason. It's definitely taking me a little bit to get used to the rear view, the rear window, and like how much I can see out of it. So I think that it's easier to see out the back in the Y. It's easier to see out the back in the X. Another thing like about the X better is even though the key fob is bigger, I feel like I can control the doors and the trunk, the front if I need it, much easier. And I don't have this Y that I'm borrowing networked with my phone, so, but I think pulling out my phone to do all those things is a bit of a hassle to navigate to the app. So +1 for the fob, even though it's a bigger thing to carry. One more thing that might seem kind of trivial, but is super nice on the X, is when you put your foot on the brake, the door just closes for you. Really nice. Y doesn't do that. Alright, time to have some fun and take it on the freeway. Okay, so I've run a bunch of errands and I've given a bunch of pros and cons. Well, pros of the X, pros of the Y, I guess. What do you guys think I should do?